Greetings and welcome to my game development project presentation. In this presentation, I'll be going through my game Pinball Journey. I'll be demonstrating how the game itself, as well as going through the game assets and codes. So I'll start with the demonstration of the game. So I'm just going to play the game in Unity. So as you can hear, this background music is royalty-free music that I searched online. I'll just go through quickly this instruction page on the main game menu that the player can look at for some instructions on how to play the game. You also have an options menu to control the volume, and you can as well quit as well. And I'll just play the game just to show you how it works. So the pinball falls down from the sewer grate. So right now I'm using WASD to manipulate the flipper. So as you can see, it's now going to add 10 seconds to the time. So this time will be counted at the end. It just got minus 10 seconds, and right there I've won the game in about 18 seconds. So both having the positive collectible and the negative collectible at the same time um, cancels out the effects of the collectible. But if you play the game for longer, obviously you can get that. And so as you can see, there's a map percentage counter here. So that is calculating the percentage of the map based off of the percentage of the roof, the height, or rather the Y value of the roof game asset here, as well as a invisible game asset called the floor marker at the bottom of the map. I'm just going to demonstrate the pause menu here. So I'm able to pause right here. And so you can see the different options here. This is the volume slider. As you can see here, you can create a new game as well, and you can resume. So I'll just resume. Now I'll be going through the codes of the game. So I'll just load up the game itself and unload the start menu. So now you can see the scene editor of the game itself here. So at the bottom, as you can see, there's a text to help the player understand that it's a pinball in a sewer and it needs to touch the roof. The WASD is just to give the player an idea of uh, what keys to press to move the flippers. So these collectibles, as I mentioned earlier, they're the yellow or golden ones will actually minus off your final time, and the red ones will add on time to you. These flippers, which I sourced online for free with royalty free, uh, and I've used the PNG as my game asset. Uh, they are controlled by a script that I'll go through in a moment. And I just use this to I use Photoshop to create this using the um, the royalty-free asset uh, that I mentioned earlier. So the only other game object here made entirely in Unity except for the sewer pipes, which I made in Photoshop by myself. Everything else are just Unity objects. As for the tile maps here for the wall and the floor, these are from a tile map from the free tile map from the Unity asset store. I've linked that. I link the reference the link in the report, the reflection report. So I'll just quickly go through um, the scripts for a moment here. So you can see these are the scripts. I'll just go through a few of them. So rotation here handles the rotation of the single-sided flippers. As you can see, these are the single-sided flippers. Um, so they take both the W and the arrow key, and it starts a coroutine. So how it essentially works is that based on whether once you've pressed the key, it will rotate the flipper in the desired direction. So uh, up if you press up, or down if you press down. For the double-sided flippers, as I'll show you, it tilts it in a way that chooses one over the other. And once you've let go, so on the key press up, once you let go, it's rotated back to its original starting position, and it does so transforms the rotation one by one using a coroutine. So that's the gist of how the movement works. As I mentioned earlier, with the double flippers, it's the same thing with the in terms of the coroutine coroutines being used to move the flippers. But so it's basically split into which side goes up instead of up or down, since it's a double-sided flipper. So the collectible handler, which is actually located in the ball itself, the pinball, uh, basically just detects a trigger because these are triggers, all of the collectibles. It deletes sets the game objects to not active, and then flashes it lowers the time, and then it flashes the canvas on screen that shows -10 seconds or +10 seconds to let the player know. For the game handler, what it does is it sets the various things such as pause, new game, resume. Uh, this is for the percentage of that I showed you earlier, and this is to play the audio source that starts when the ball drops. Camera follow just follows camera. Ball handler, so there's two main things that the ball handler does. It clamps the velocity of the ball so that it doesn't clip out of the map, uh, because the physics will make it such that it keeps going until it breaks the game. And the second thing it does is that if the ball collides with the floor, it will make it move in a random direction. So when the ball first goes down, falls down and hits, it doesn't just keep uh, going up and down in a straight line, not being able to move to the flipper so the flipper can hit them. This makes it such that it will automatically move in a random direction towards the side, so the flippers can actually hit the pinball itself. Um, yes, so the main menu is the main menu, so you can play the game, you can quit the game. These are for the buttons in the main menu. And the win condition is set to if the ball collides with the roof, triggers the roof, then it will set the time scale to 0. It'll set the win screen to true. So if the +10 screen or the -10 screen where it shows +10 or -10 is active, it will set it inactive once you've won. Yeah, and that seems to be about it. So those are the main assets. So for the tile map, like I mentioned earlier, it's a royalty-free assets from the Unity Asset Store. It's called the Rogue Fantasy Castle that I uh, purchased on the Unity Free Asset Store for free. Uh, right here are the prefabs that I saved of the different assets. Um, these images are just images uh, that I took and made uh, in using Figma. So I made this myself. Um, for the scenes, there's only two scenes. For the scenes, there's only two scenes. There's the game and the start scene. So the start was the main menu that you saw at the beginning, and the game scene is obviously the game scene. For the sounds, these sounds are all royalty-free sounds that I sourced online. I can play them for you here. This is the loop right here that you heard earlier at the start in the main menu. This is a dripping water sound effect. Not sure if you can hear that, but it's meant to signalize that this is a sewer, so there's dripping water. And this is for when the game first starts and the ball is falling. You have this bass drop here. Those are the sound effects. There's the main sound mixer that is controlled by the volume slider in the pause and uh, start menus. And that is pretty much the entirety of my game. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and thank you very much.